Good morning, beloveds, and welcome to the Sunday service. The call to worship says, God continually says that you are love, but you think you are something else. You think you are less, and because of your varied emotions, you may think that you are not love. But nevertheless, God made you as love. You are made from God's love. Love you are, and love is in a class of its own, as each and every one of you are. So the opening today is, I am here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes me to be, knowing that he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. So our statement of faith, join in with me as you're watching. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and this is an important time to do this. And I feel privileged to be here with one another. Love flows from one person to another in our homes, in our church, wherever we're at. We create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. So, spiritual mind treatment for today says, first of all, well, it's about God's beauty exists all around me. So we get to see God everywhere. First of all, learn to find contentment and refreshment in the simple little joys of life. I rejoice in the beauty of all that God has created. There is within me recognition of awe in contemplating the magnificent abundance of beautiful things in this world that God has given me to enjoy. Since I'm God's creation, I'm able to think and choose. And I take this moment to focus on how blessed I am to be able to see and share the wonderful complexities in the natural world. I know that it is only at the moment of conscious recognition that I experience joy in truly seeing the color and texture of an opening rose and smelling its delicate fragrance. I feel joy and love watching others express love and affection with one another, and hopefully we're going to see more of that after we get released from our homes. There is much in my life to appreciate, especially the things of the heart. That's where we always want to go. This physical world holds so much to appreciate, beloveds, so let's give thanks now for all that we see, hear, and feel, and I know that it is all God's sweet creation, and so it is. So the talk for today is listen to your heart, as I've been saying. How about if we start off with quotes? From The Art of Uncertainty by Dennis Merrin Jones, he says, and I like this, it's really cute, fear is the little dark room where negativity is developed. Isn't that great? And a companion to that is worrying is using your imagination to create something that you don't want. How true that is. R. Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. What that means is change your thoughts. So a couple of good quotes here about fear and changing it. So my challenge today, beloveds, is for each of us to take time to imagine, what would life be like as we move through this time of coronavirus and the reopening of our communities? What would make us feel safer? For example, in my new imagined model, there is an effective vaccine available for everyone. In the meantime, there are more than enough tests, so we have an abundance of all that is needed for this. I remember, and do you remember when we were younger, how much polio was ravaging the country? And the vaccine was finally developed and widely distributed, and after that happened, we never heard any more about polio. Is that what life will be like after this virus is no longer a threat? And I see everyone changing their consciousness regarding their health, more connection to their health, as well as all aspects of one's life. And as we open up to our one's own self-love, which another aspect of God is so much stronger, and we support others in doing the same. So I ask you, this is about self-love. Please take the time to help me mentally build a new model. Life will be different in the future. I want it to be better too. So this has been the theme that I've been working on this week. God's will for me is perfectly happiness. That's a strong statement to take on, because in this world, perfect happiness sometimes seems like an impossible dream. How can I have perfect happiness? I have a little bit of happiness, but perfect, what does that mean? Well, in the real world, where you are truly at home with God. Perfect happiness is uninterrupted, and that is why it is perfect. Anything that is true forever, while nothing untrue exists, as the Course in Miracles says. Once again, this statement makes no sense in the ego world that each of you created in your imagination, but it makes perfect sense in heaven. And remember, heaven is inside of us, right inside our heart. The only choice you have to make is which model, which world do you want to see? And finally, the world you choose to see will determine the experiences you choose to enjoy. Remember how I've said before that what is outside of us comes from what's inside of us? So we want to practice more seeing as God sees. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Here is the single most important thought that you can hold into your mind. So take it in. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Or even this one. What belongs to God also belongs to me. All of what God has is mine. Yes. This idea undoes any other concept you've ever claimed which seems to have limited or blocked your experiences of love. The truth is, love has never been limited or blocked because it is what you are, as I said in the beginning. And because you can never limit or block what you are, neither can you limit or block God, because God is in you. You are as God. Once again, this is the only thought you need to hold and believe to achieve total freedom from the world that you created in your imagination, which has never been real, not even for an instant. So, beloveds, if you haven't gotten it yet, this is about self-love, deep, unconditional love. How wonderful to finally experience that. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Again, you have accepted into your mind the truth that giving and receiving are the same. But until it becomes an embodied experience and not just a concept, you will not enjoy the fruit of your giving. It can't be an intellectual thing. It is something that comes from the heart. The ego's primary function is to block you from seeing and experiencing this truth. It refuses the return of grace that is your natural inheritance, convincing you that everything it does is for your benefit rather than your demise. It operates from fear, beloveds, and it wants control. And hiding you from you is reckless at best and insidious at worst. And now, at last, you have advanced far enough to see beyond these bizarre attempts at misdirection by the ego. It's time for you to connect with God at all times and know that God's will for you is perfect happiness. In believing in the past that you could change the will of God by accepting less than perfect happiness, and remember we did that on an unconscious level, you also convinced yourself that you are not as you were created, whole, perfect, and complete. So a truth for that I am as God created, whole, perfect, and complete. And somehow you turn this into a victory rather than nothing at all. So because of that, the ego believes that it won a battle that never existed except in your imagination. Now the question is, will you continue hurting what could never be hurt? Or defending what could never be defended? We're talking about which is the truth and which is the lie. Some other quotes I want to share with you. Only do what your heart tells you to do. That was from Princess Diana. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. What we've done in our society is created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. That was by Albert Einstein. So again I say, we are all here to be truly helpful, to radiate the deeper truth. I raise God and I praise God through my I am presence. Therefore, I am here to tell everyone what God has done. And I stay awake and I alert to God's signs of love. Wherever I can see God around me, where He is, I stay awake to that. And everything and everyone, of course, is where God is at. So, beloveds, I ask you to keep your heart open to self-love and awaking during this time, no matter the cost. The answer, the truth, is always love. the higher consciousness. I am the holy, perfect child of God. Maybe say that one again to yourselves. I am the holy, perfect child of God, and it is time for me to be of service to myself, to others, and to God. You are ready to choose this truth. I am ready. You are ready. Let's do it. So let's talk about the mystical month of May. We have entered this mystical month of May, and it's an unparalleled time in the lives of all humanity. The legions of light workers in the realms of truth in heaven are very aware of the confusion and the fear so many people are experiencing. They realize that we have very conflicting and often extreme perceptions about what is happening on earth. This makes us very vulnerable to various agendas and the conspiracy theories designed to perpetuate fear and the obsolete patterns of us versus them. Due to the need of the hour, the company of heaven has been granted a cosmic dispensation by our Father, Mother, God that will allow them to intervene in our lives in previously unknown ways. So we're going to be getting help, remembering that we've always had free will to lead our lives the way we choose. But now there's going to be a change. Throughout the month of May, the beings of light will vastly empower our individual and collective light work that we are doing. And this will help us to transcend the upset and the chaos that's being pushed to the surface to be transmuted back into life. Remember how I've said a lot of times that God's light is down below, pushing everything, pushing the darkness, so that we get to experience the light, the beautiful, bright light of God. Once that our consciousness is raised above the chaos in the outer world, which means that we have to raise our vibration of thought and emotion to meet this, then our I Am presence will have the ability to intuitively communicate with us on a far more tangible level. The divine intent of this intervention is to help each of us remember that we have been training for lifetimes to help the masses of humanity. I want to remind you of that. We have been training, and we're here to help the masses of humanity fully awaken during this cosmic moment, and that everything we need to succeed is already within us. Yes, beloveds, we all chose to be here at this time of the Great Awakening for whatever purpose we are, which I talked about last Sunday. In the heavenly realms, the month of May is considered a very spiritual and powerful time for planet Earth. The company of heaven refers to Mary as the mystical month of May, or refers to May, not Mary, as the mystical month of May, because of various activities of light that will take place during this year. May 1st is celebrated as Saint Germain's Ascension Day. During that time, Saint Germain directs his legions of fifth-dimensional violet flame archangels to flood the earth with the most powerful frequencies of the violet flame of God's perfection. During the entire month of May also, Mother Mary's Temple of the Immaculate Heart is open in the heavenly realms to the masses of humanity. We can visit this place in our meditations and connect with Mother Mary, and our I Am presence will happily take us there to our finer body as we sleep at night. All we have to do is ask, and it will happen. And during this sacred time, let's be open to Mother Mary assisting our I Am presence to balance and expand the divinity anchored within our victorious threefold heart flame. Remember, I've talked about the heart flame before, making the figure 8 in your middle of your chest in your sacred heart. So do that now. And in May we will also experience the Taurus full moon, which is celebrated as Buddha's birthday and the day of Buddha's enlightenment. It's also the beginning of the spiritual year for light workers. This celebration is known throughout the world as the Wesak Festival. This year, the Taurus full moon and the Wesak Festival will occur on May 7th. Now, I have celebrated this festival at the church before, but this year I will do it at my home. And if you want to join me, let me know, and we'll figure out a way to get it happening together. This year, during that celebration, Buddha will bless humanity with unprecedented frequencies of enlightenment and divine wisdom. For many years, May 1st has also been acknowledged as Global Love Day. This is a time when light workers around the world joins hearts and minds with a global expression of oneness, divine love, and reverence for all life. I joined these light workers on Friday, and any of you can still do it because it's still going on. And it's all together. Think about what is happening this month with all these events that I'm talking about. And this year, because of the global focus of humanity's attention on healing the coronavirus and surviving financially throughout the mystical month of May, our Father, Mother, God are infusing our planetary grid of divine love with unprecedented frequencies of violet flames of healing. Through the power of transmutation in the golden flame of God's abundance and peace, that is providing an extraordinary opportunity that all beings of light, all of us, in the realms of truth will utilize to assist each and every person on earth in new and profound ways. A couple of invocations have been given to me by the company, to us by the Company of Heaven. The divine matrix for these invocations has been building in momentum for a long time and will be exponentially expanded through the united efforts of heaven and earth as we command. So that's a strong word, beloved. We're going to command this light that's coming up through the power of our spoken words this month. Watch what we say. And I would like you to join me in empowering this divine matrix together. God's abundance is the path to eternal peace, and eternal peace is the path to God's abundance. Say that again. God's abundance is the path to eternal peace, and eternal peace is the path to God's abundance. With the divine intervention of the entire Company of Heaven, the I Am presence of every person, which is your soul and your connection to God, is able to enlighten him or her to the divine truth that God's infinite abundance and eternal peace are inseparable aspects of God's perfection. They are together, abundance and peace, and all is well. Second invocation, through the power of God blazing in every person's heart flame, I now invoke a new order of healing. Repeat after me. I am open. I am willing. I am receptive. I am grateful. I am God's healing flame in action on earth. And so it is. And say, I am, I am, I am. So, precious ones, do not let this opportunity that's happening to us pass you by. During this mystical month of May, listen to your heart. Invoke the light of God all the time, and focus on the patterns of perfection that you want to co-create in your life. In your quiet moments of meditation or whatever, when you are in a state of listening grace, feel the gratitude pouring forth from our Father, Mother, God, and the Kingdom of Heaven. And to you, in appreciation of your willingness to add to the light of the world, I tell you that you are blessed beyond your knowing. Namaste. Let's do a short meditation called Living the Power of Now. Take yourself in your imagination to a running stream in a great forest where the birds are singing. The wildlife is all about you. The sun is streaming down in brilliant rays through the trees. Can you see that? Let yourself feel the power that surrounds you, the serenity, the sureness, the utter divine now. As you begin to feel the power that surrounds you, realize that what you're feeling is simply the power of the now, the divine now. The joy you feel as you smell the freshness of air is the grateful body, is the power of the divine now. The peace you feel as the sun soaks into your body is the power of the divine now. The happiness you feel as the breeze caresses your face is the power of the divine now. The presence you feel as the water splashes around you is the power of the unconditional love of the divine now. That says everywhere and everything is the divine now. So the consciousness of nature accepts you, beloved, for it sees you as no different than what it is, timeless in the divine now. Allow your heart to expand and reach out to all that is about you in your vision, as all that is about you reaches out to you, so we connect to the oneness. Feel the presence of now, a state of purity and knowing. Feel the love that engulfs you from the forest, the shrubs, the animals, and all that is unseen. Feel the peace that exists between you and all life. As you have created this precious moment, beloveds, realize that you too can create all of your moments to come from now on. Every moment as you watch something, or as you watch the stream tumble to the sea, realize that it flows with purpose just as you do. Stay perfectly conscious of everything that's happening to you in this moment, inside and out. Because actually there's a lot happening in this world and we need to be awake to it as moment by moment and the next moment. So I tell you, pay attention to now. If you take all this message I gave you tonight about opening up your heart to love, to God, to the now moment, and you live tomorrow what you are happily drifting through today. In God's will, that I am truly helpful and happy. Divine power is yours in the divinity of now, right now. So hold on to that. Live it. Know that you are deeply loved by me and others. And I say, Namaste.